18 days, the entire Jewish world came together in their concern and anxiety for the fate of three precious souls, Eyal, Gilad, and Naftali, three yeshiva students who went missing. We know this week, unfortunately, they were found killed, likely by Hamas operatives. What can our response be to this terrible situation, to this terrible tragedy? So, I'd like to share with you 5 thoughts. Number 1, at the eulogy, at the hesped for these 3 students, their teacher, Rabbi Dov Zinger, the Rosh Yeshiva of Makor Chaim, their yeshiva, he said the following. He said there's an oft-quoted cliche that there are 2 Jews, 3 opinions. But the truth is there's really one more line to this. That is, 2 Jews, 3 opinions, but 1 heart. And that's what we've seen demonstrated by this entire tragedy. That Jews of every single walk of life, whether they're religious or not, whether they're Israeli or not, really felt these poor mother's pain, these poor father's pain, and did so many acts of kindness, acts of chesed as their merits for the rescue of these boys. So many hours and hours of prayers were added. So many hours and hours and hours, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours of learning were added. People accepted Shabbos early in their merits. The entire Jewish world felt their pain. This is a remarkable thought. And so we lost 3 precious souls. Let's not lose 1 more soul. The sense of 1 collective soul that we've had. Let's not lose that soul as well. Another thought is that we learned the idea of noseh b'olam chavero, the idea of feeling another person's pain. Of course, we know we all came together, but what was unique is that we all felt their pain, and that's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. It's not enough to help people, but we have to put ourselves in their shoes and to actually feel their pain, actually empathize with them, and that empathy will help generate a far more responsive act of kindness. Number 2, the idea of being noseh b'olam chavero. Number 3, crises like this make us feel vulnerable, make us worry about our own fates, make us worry about the fate of our children, make us worry about the fates of our brothers and sisters in Israel, makes us feel vulnerable. This really makes us realize that ultimately we have Elanu lish'en ela alavinash b'Hashemayim. We have to put our bitachon, put our trust in Hashem, to build a close relationship with Hashem, to realize that Hashem loves us, and Hashem cares for us, Hashem only wants the best for us. We have to increase our trust and bitachon and faith that Hashem is caring for us and loves us, and that mitzvah bitachon will help give us greater protection. Number 4, everyone asks, how do we respond to this? How could this happen? I want to paraphrase for you a famous quote that Mrs. Rachel Frankel, Naftali's mother, said right after she heard the news of her son's demise. And she said, Hashem is not our employee. Hashem is not our employee. And what she was saying was, Hashem doesn't have to do what we want. Ultimately, Hashem knows what's best. Part of our emunah, our faith in Hashem, is to know that everything that Hashem does is for the best. And gam zu latova, somehow even terrible tragedies can lead to something positive. And in Naftali's mother's words, ultimately, Hashem is our employer. Hashem knows what's best. Hashem has the broad vision of the world, and ultimately, He knows how to bring even tragedy towards a positive conclusion. And finally, there have been so many people who were praying. I know people that every single day said the entire book of Tehillim. People spend hours and hours and hours praying. For 18 days, they would pray. So what happened to all these prayers? So Rabbi Steinman, one of our great Torah leaders, said we have part of our emunah is to realize that no prayer goes unanswered. Every single prayer that we prayed ultimately will have a beneficial results. So even if it didn't result in the outcome that we wanted, ultimately those prayers can be used to bring salvation to many other people in the world, elsewhere and for other times. We have to believe, part of our emunah is to believe that every single prayer is effective in some way. It never goes unanswered. So these are 5 lessons that we can take out of this terrible, terrible story. Number 1, how we've all come together, even though we may be different, so we have one heart. Number 2, to realize we have to feel each other's pain. Noseh b'olam chavero. Number 3, to strengthen our bitachon, trust, a sense of security that Hashem is taking care of us. Number 4, the idea of emunah, to realize that ultimately Hashem's in charge, Hashem knows what's best, and Hashem will lead even this towards a positive conclusion. And number 5, part of this faith, they realize that every single prayer, no tefillah, goes unanswered. It is our prayer that in the schus of these 5 mitzvos, that we only hear good news in the future. Have a wonderful Shabbos.